Well, today is day 354 in our journey through the Word. And I look forward to this passage. This is one of my favorite chapters in the Bible as we go back and just recall some of the great people of faith that we've spent the last year reading about and their journey with the Lord, their faithful journey with the Lord. And I start with Hebrews 11:1, with the definition that God gives us, that definition right off the top here, what faith is. Faith is the confidence that we hope for will actually happen. Let me say that again. Let me read that again. I'm reading this out of the our passage today. Faith is the confidence that what we hope for will actually happen. It gives us assurance about the things we cannot see. It's a confidence. It's an assurance in God. We can have others, things will let us down. There's only one true God. And only God is one that we can have total and complete confidence in, total and complete assurance in. And as we went through 11, 4 through 29, and we talk about the fathers of our faith, the fathers and the mothers of our faith, because there's women listed in this as well, that there are things that tied in there that just jumped out to me. Not just the names, but what they did. It was by faith the entire universe was formed. It was by faith that brought a more acceptable sacrifice. It was by faith taken up to heaven without dying. It was by faith they built a larger boat. It was by faith that they obeyed when God called. It was by faith that they were able to have a child. It was by faith that he offered Isaac as a sacrifice. It was by faith that he promised blessings for the future. It was by faith he commanded the people. It was by faith that they went through the Red Sea. And it goes on and on. And it ends up in 13, verse 13, where it says, all these people died still believing what God had promised. They died still believing. They did not receive what was promised, but they saw it from a distance and welcomed it. They never gave up hope, because faith is the confidence of what we hope for will actually happen. God's promise to Abraham. Abraham never saw the fulfillment of that promise. But as we've read, we're reading that even in Hebrews, that God's promise has been fulfilled in the nation of Israel. God's promise to Abraham, and continues to be fulfilled today because the number continues to grow. All these people, and the list goes on in there, but all these people died still believing what God had promised. They did not receive what was promised, but they saw it from a distance, and they never gave up hope. Yet would we do the same? Would I do the same? Can I be faithful enough in God's promise that if I never saw it here in my lifetime, that I never give up, because God is faithful to his word, and God's timeline is always perfect, always right, and I can take confidence in that, and there's an assurance that it will happen even though I cannot see it, or I do not see it. And we come in chapter 12 where it says you come, and that just jumped out at me, and it talked about you come, you come, you come, you come. You come to the mountain. And I'm reminded that, the faith of a mustard seed can move that mountain. But that mountain also is described in here as the mountain of God. God's mountain. I come to the mountain in faith. I come to God in faith. I come to the Spirit of righteousness in faith. I come to Jesus. And it goes on in to say to Jesus, the one who mediates the new covenant between God and the people. I come to the mountain of God, where Jesus Christ is mediating a new covenant between God and the people. And we're warned in the end of our reading today, be careful that you do not refuse to listen to the one, capital O, God, that you refuse to listen to God who is speaking. Listen, listen, listen. It may be a small whisper, but we're called to listen to the one true God who is speaking. By faith. It was by faith. What is your testimony today? Where you could say, or somebody might say about you, it was by faith that Mark began this journey a year ago. And God has been faithful through this journey, through His Word. I couldn't see the end then. I don't know where the journey will continue to take me after I finish reading at the end of this year. The reading never stops. The journey continues. It will just be a new journey. Faith is a confidence that what we hope for will actually happen. It gives us assurance about things we cannot see. I hope you have a great day, a day of faithfulness. I'll see you again tomorrow as we continue our journey